Harvey Weinstein, Bob Weinstein, God bless them.
Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein. Especially Harvey.
I want to thank Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
Thank Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey, who first took me on 20 years ago.
I would like to thank Harvey Weinstein.
Imagine a man so powerful in Hollywood that with one phone call he could launch a career or destroy it. For decades, Harvey Weinstein stood at the very top of the movie world, producing classics, winning Oscars, and shaping modern cinema. But behind the red carpets and golden statues lurked one of the darkest scandals Hollywood had ever seen. In 2017, the mask finally came off. The king of Hollywood was unmasked as its ultimate villain. This is a shocking downfall of Harvey Weinstein, Hollywood's biggest scandal exposed. Harvey Weinstein was born in Queens, New York in 1952. Alongside his younger brother Bob, he grew up obsessed with movies. In the late 1970s, the two brothers started a small distribution company, Miramax, named after their parents Miriam and Max. At first, they focused on art house films and small independent projects, but their ambition was limitless. By the 1990s, Miramax had become a cultural powerhouse. Harvey wasn't just producing films. He was shaping the very culture of Hollywood. His company delivered masterpieces like Pulp Fiction, The English Patient, Good Will Hunting, and Shakespeare in Love. Each one wasn't only a box office success, but an award magnet, turning Miramax into the kingmaker of the Oscars. Weinstein's reputation soared. Actors, directors, and writers saw him as a man who could take an unknown script and transform it into an Oscar-winning phenomenon. He was praised as a genius deal-maker, a man with a golden touch. But with great power came an even greater arrogance. Behind the glamour, Harvey had begun to cultivate a culture of intimidation, one that would keep Hollywood under control for decades. Weinstein wasn't just powerful, he was feared. Stories of his explosive temper and ruthless control spread through the industry, like ghost stories told in whispers. Colleagues described him as a man who screamed at employees, humiliated filmmakers, and crushed anyone who dared to cross him. But his influence was undeniable. A single call from Weinstein could greenlight a project or bury it forever. Directors knew that a Harvey liked your film, you had a chance at the Oscars. Actors knew that landing a Weinstein project could turn them into overnight stars. And studios knew that he had an uncanny ability to make serious cinema both profitable and award-worthy. This created an environment of silence. Everyone saw the bullying, the manipulation, the abuse of power, but no one dared to speak up. Rumors swirled about hotel meetings, strange demands, and women pressured into uncomfortable situations. Yet, each story was quickly buried under Weinstein's immense influence. He had allies in the press, lawyers on call, and settlements that kept women silent. Hollywood had created its own monster, and no one dared to look in the eye. The empire began to crumble in October 2017. The New York Times released a devastating expose, revealing decades of sexual harassment settlements Weinstein had paid to silence his accusers. Days later, The New Yorker dropped an even more explosive investigation, detailing graphic stories of harassment and assault. The allegations were staggering. Actresses like Ashley Judd, Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie, and Rose McGowan came forward with stories that sent shockwaves through the world. They described a pattern. Weinstein would invite women to meetings in hotel rooms, posing as professional business appointments, which would quickly escalate into coercion and abuse. Many were threatened that if they refused, their careers would be destroyed. For years, whispers about Weinstein had circled the industry, but now the truth was undeniable. Dozens of women spoke out. His empire collapsed almost overnight. Within days, Harvey was fired from his own company, expelled from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, and abandoned by the very stars he once made famous. The scandal was more than a personal downfall. It was an earthquake. Harvey Weinstein had been protected for decades by Hollywood silence. That silence was finally broken, and the entire world was listening. The Weinstein revelations didn't just take down one man. They opened the floodgates. His exposure ignited the global #MeToo movement. Thousands of women across industries began sharing their stories of harassment and abuse. For the first time, powerful men in Hollywood, politics, media, and business were held accountable in ways they never had been before. In Hollywood, the impact was immediate. Studios reevaluated their policies. Actors began speaking out about the toxic culture that had been normalized for decades. For years, people had whispered about the casting couch. But now, those whispers were public outcries. Weinstein became the symbol of everything wrong with Hollywood. Unchecked power, systemic silence, and the way fame was used to exploit the vulnerable. His downfall forced the industry to look in the mirror, and the reflection was ugly. The question was no longer who knew, but how many more like him are still out there? By 2018, the legal system caught up with Harvey Weinstein. After dozens of investigations and testimonies, he was arrested. In 2020, he was convicted of sexual assault and rape, receiving a 23-year prison sentence. The once untouchable Hollywood kingmaker was now a prisoner, disgraced, abandoned, and stripped of all power. The image of Weinstein, once walking proudly on red carpets surrounded by celebrities, was replaced by the sight of him shuffling into court, frail and handcuffed. For survivors, his conviction was more than justice. It was validation. For Hollywood, it was proof that even the most powerful could finally be held accountable. But his story wasn't just about one man's crimes. It was about a system that enabled him for so long. Harvey Weinstein didn't just fall. He dragged Hollywood's darkest secrets into the light. Harvey Weinstein's rise and fall is one of the most shocking stories in entertainment history. From building an empire of award-winning films to becoming the face of Hollywood's darkest scandal, his name will forever be remembered. Not for cinema, but for disgrace. His conviction reshaped the film industry and fueled a movement that still continues today. But as the dust settles, one question remains. Did Hollywood truly change, or are there still secrets waiting to be exposed? What do you think? Was Weinstein's downfall a turning point, or just the tip of the iceberg? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more untold stories from the world of cinema.